All right, this video is going to help us complete layouts, layers, and viewports. So let's look at the first thing that we need to do here. And it says, change the color of the furniture layer to 11. So if we go ahead and go to our drawing and click on layer properties, right? That's this little button right here. Looks like a stack of paper. Looks just like this little stack of paper here with a calculator. Layer properties. When we click on that, it's going to open up this properties window here with all of our layers. So this drawing has a lot of layers on it, and that's okay. Totally normal. We're going to go ahead and find the furniture layer. And here we can see that the color is set to 35, which is this brownish color. If I click on that cube there, that little square, brings up a little color window. All my colors are here, but I'm not going to go and find whichever one it is by just hovering my mouse over all of these. I'm going to, in this box, change the number from 35 to 11 and click OK. Now with our color changed, I can go ahead and close this properties window by clicking the X. And you'll see all the furniture has changed from that brown color to this sort of pinkish salmon color. And I can move on to the next step. Change the viewport scale to 1 to 50 and then lock it. So to change the viewport scale, we have to click inside of this viewport. And if we remember what a viewport is, right? It is just a portal. It is a window into the model space, right? So I'm switching the tabs here on the bottom left just to show you this, right? Because these tabs are going to be important in a second. But we have the model tab and the plan tab. And switching between those two tabs, you can see that this drawing is just whatever this drawing is. So in order to change the scale of this drawing, I need to double click into that viewport to enter what is called the model space, right? And you can see I'm in this viewport now because I have this nice dark blue border around it. And as I hover my mouse over things in the model space, they highlight as I select each thing. Okay, to change the scale, I'm going to go down here to this decimal. And this is where I select the scale. See, the tooltip came up, says scale of the selected viewport. Click to adjust the scale. So I go over here and I click and I get a lot of different common scales. I'm going to choose the one that it said on the instructions, which is 1 to 50. And it'll zoom a little bit out. And that's how that should be, scale of 1 to 50. And so we don't accidentally make any mistakes and adjust what we just changed. We're going to click on the padlock here. See, right now, I hovered my mouse and it says that the selected viewport is not locked. So I'm going to click on this padlock right here so that it turns blue. And now says selected viewports are locked. So now if I zoom in or out, or if I pan, I can't pan the viewport. I can't scale the viewport. The whole thing zooms, which is good because I want to lock in that scale 1 to 50. Perfect. Let's continue. After we change the viewport, I skipped a step here, which was number 3. So let me go back and do that. Rename the plan layout tab to call it, to name it FP 1 to 50. So I'm just going to go ahead and highlight this and copy it, FP 1 to 50. I'm going to go back to AutoCAD. And down here, remember where these tabs were? I'm going to go ahead and on where it says plan, I'm going to right click plan, click rename. Also, you can just double click on the word. And I'm going to paste the text that I had there. So now it says FP 1 to 50. So now I have model FP 1 to 50. All right. Now that it's named 1 to 50, I'm going to create a copy of FP 1 to 50 and rename it Kitchen 1 to 16. So before I switch to AutoCAD, I'm going to go ahead and highlight that, copy the selection. To make a copy of a tab, we're going to right click it and go here, move or copy. Move or copy. I'm going to go ahead and click on that. And make sure you check this box right down here, which says create a copy. Make sure that that box is checked before we move on. Click OK. We know that this is a copy because it says that it has the number 2 on it. So go ahead and switch to that tab by clicking on it. And just like we did before, right click, rename. I'm going to paste my text in there. So now I should have 3 tabs. Model, Kitchen 1 to 16, FP 1 to 50. I'm going to go ahead and go on to the next step here, which is update the viewport to match the image below with a viewport scale of 1 to 16 and then lock it. So they just want us to change the scale to 1 to 16 and zoom in on where the kitchen is. That's easy enough. I'm going to go ahead and go into the viewport here. I'm going to unlock it. We can't change the scale if it's still locked. I'm going to zoom into the kitchen and change the scale to 1 to 16. I'm just going to make sure that the words kitchen and window are right in the center of this frame. Okay, just like that. And then I'm going to relock it. So now if I go back to 1 to 50, it's still the whole house, right? I still have the whole house here. And if I go back to kitchen 1 to 16, I have just the kitchen. Perfect. I'm going to go ahead and make another copy of kitchen 1 to 16. Make sure to check the create a copy box. And now we're going to rename this one Windows 1 to 10. Right? It says create a copy of kitchen 1 to 16, which I just did. Now we're going to rename it Windows 1 to 10. So I'm going to highlight this, copy. I'm going to go over to my copy of kitchen 1 to 16, right click, rename. I'm going to paste in Windows 1 to 10. So now you should have 4 tabs: model, Windows 1 to 10, kitchen 1 to 16, FP 1 to 50. Perfect. With this layout tab, what we're going to do is we're going to update the viewports to match the image below with a viewport scale of 1 to 10 and then lock all of them. So notice here that there are now 3 viewports, right? There is a viewport that is long and rectangular there at the top. Then I have a viewport below it as a square to the left. And then I have a viewport to the right, which is also a square. So how do we get these 3 viewports like this? Well, the first thing we have to do is make sure that we are not in the viewport. So if you double clicked in here and you got this big blue border, you want to make sure you double click out here in the gray to make sure that you're not in the viewport. So you notice when I'm in it, it's gray and I have this word here, top 2D wireframe. When I double click on the gray, this is no longer a dark blue and it no longer says top 2D wireframe here. You got to make sure that you're not in the viewport because you want to be able to select the viewport and delete it using the delete key. Okay. I have now deleted that viewport and now we're going to go ahead and put it back in. So how do we put a new viewport back in to AutoCAD? So you're going to type VIEWPO for viewports. See viewports down there? VIEWPO. Then just press enter for viewports. The viewports window asks us what kind of viewports we want. There's a lot of them. Notice that 3 above has what we want. A rectangle on the top, 2 squares on the bottom. Go ahead and click OK once you have that. And we're going to draw it in here using these 2 corners. Top left, sorry, top right, bottom left. Although top left, bottom right would work as well. Just any 2 opposite corners in this rectangle here. Okay. Just like that. Now I have my 3 views. I'm going to go ahead, double click on the top one to enter the viewport. So I can now scroll and zoom. Remember that if it's locked, you're not going to be able to do that. So make sure you unlock it so you can scroll and zoom. Okay, I am going to relock it really quick just to zoom this in a little bit more so it's easier to see. Okay, then unlock it again. Okay, so now I need to go back to the instructions just to see what they want me to do. So the first one here on the top, there's this little wooden table and there's a window there. So where in this house is that? It looks like, well, there's a table here, but there's no window. So it must be the other one, which is here. So I'm going to zoom in, get this kind of lined up, go down to the bottom of AutoCAD here and switch the scale to 1 to 10. I'm going to readjust that really quick. Perfect. I'm going to go to the bottom left one now. This looks like it's the window by this plant here. So I'm going to go ahead and go to where the plant is, get this window, switch to 1 to 10. Position the window at the top like I did with the other one. Oh, I'm going to also lock these. So I'm going to go back to the first one and lock it, go back to the one on the left and lock it, and then go to the one on the bottom right and find the last window. Last window looks like it is by the kitchen. I can see the stovetop there. So I'm going to go ahead and find where the kitchen is, zoom into the window there. This time the word window is on the bottom. So I'm going to put that on the bottom there. Scale 1 to 10. Position this real nice. I'm going to go ahead and lock that viewport. And I'm done. I'm going to go ahead and zoom to extents. Don't forget to do that. Okay. Don't forget to zoom to extents with our zoom to extents button, or you can double click your middle mouse button, or you can type the word zoom, right? Z-O-O-M, enter, and then E for extents, E, enter. And that will zoom in your drawing perfectly so you can take your screenshot. All right, go ahead and upload that screenshot to Canvas. Hope this video helped, and I will see you on the next one.